Up to the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Sunday, June the 27th, 2021. Show's going out a little bit late this week, and it's also a little bit abbreviated just because, it's been a busy week, so it is what it is. But as always, thanks to everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you check out the website, catchhookshoot.com, for everything relating to the show. Check out our social media pages on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch Hook Shoot. Head to ProWrestlingTees.com/CatchHookShoot for all your t-shirt needs, in addition to all the cool merch that you will find on the CatchHookShoot.com merchandise page. And if you want to find all that plus a whole lot more, check out our Linktree, which is Linktree/CatchHookShoot. If you're normally watching the show on YouTube, you see we're audio only this week. Again, just been a busy week, time constraints. It is what it is. So, just audio this week. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So, starting off the show, unfortunately, again, on a little bit of a sad note, this past week, Melissa Coates, better known to wrestling fans as Super Genie, the manager of Sabu, passed away this week at the age of 50. She had been, having some health issues. Cause of death has not been released to my knowledge yet. At least I have not seen it. But she recently had to have a leg amputation done, and so obviously she was having some health issues. But Melissa Coates passed away this week at the age of 50. So rest in peace to her. So let's get into our normal goings on here, starting things off like we always do with the match of the week. So this week's match of the week comes from AEW Saturday Night Dynamite this week, taking place just yesterday, and it was the main event, the World Championship match between Kenny Omega and Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy has definitely solidified himself as the future of AEW. This match was just absolutely amazing, to put it mildly. If you have not seen this one, definitely go back and check it out. Jungle Boy is going to be world champion at some point. Kenny Omega did retain in this match, and it was a straight-up match. There was some outside shenanigans with the Good Brothers, but, the rest of Jurassic Express, Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, and even Frankie Kazarian got involved to keep it out of the ring, so it, stayed a straight-up fair one-on-one match. And Kenny Omega did get the victory with the One-Winged Angel, as always. But Jungle Boy did work out of the One-Winged Angel a couple of times. One time reversing it into a Poison Rana, which was a really cool spot. So, again, if you have not checked this match out yet, make sure to go back and check it out. Kenny Omega defending the AEW World Championship against Jungle Boy from this past Saturday. So let's keep rolling right along into the next segment here, which is my top 3 highlights of the week, and that is called the 3 Count. Number 1 up on the 3 count, again from AEW Dynamite last night. We saw a face-to-face between Tully Blanchard and Conan. And this, stemming from the rivalry of Santana and Ortiz against FTR. Very cool spot. Conan just magic on the microphone as always, and seeing him and Tully go back and forth talking about their respective teams. And then Conan was apparently bringing out Santana and Ortiz, coming out, masked and everything like that, kind of like when they made their debut. But it turned out to be a swerve. It was actually FTR. Santana and Ortiz had been beaten down and left laying in the back. And Conan then caught a beatdown in the middle of the ring from FTR and Tully Blanchard. And just a really cool, very old school type promo in the ring. And it kind of makes me wonder, because we didn't see any involvement from the Pinnacle or the Inner Circle in this. It was just FTR and Santana and Ortiz, and then of course Conan and Tully. So I'm wondering if maybe they're not leaving the factions, but kind of splitting off, maybe just kind of doing their own thing, because these are arguably two of the best tag teams in the world right now, and they really don't need any outside help or anything. I'm hoping this is not the last time we're going to see Conan in AEW with Santana and Ortiz. I think it'd be pretty cool to see him in their corner again, like we did back in Impact. So we'll have to wait and see how this is all going to play out. Number 2 on the 3 count, Edge has returned to WWE. Made his return on Smackdown this past Friday, attacking Roman Reigns at the end of the show, and basically demanding his one-on-one championship match that he really never got, because the WrestleMania match was a triple threat with Daniel Bryan. So, and that match was made for Money in the Bank coming up in a few weeks. So, we saw the return to Edge. He got the upper hand on Roman. So, we're going to see a Universal title match between Edge and Roman Reigns. And number 3 on the 3 count, I wouldn't exactly call this a highlight, but more releases by WWE. And, this brings the total just for this year, and it's only June. WWE has released 44 wrestlers. That's just wrestlers. We're not talking about, backstage people or office people. Just wrestlers. 44. That's a whole freaking roster. You could build an entire company with that many wrestlers, and WWE just letting them go. And I get it, the roster is stacked. They have more talent than they can use, is the bottom line. And they're saying budget cuts. Well, yeah, when you have 100+ people on your roster, with an average, I'm speculating here, average 6-figure contract between those 100+ people, your payroll is huge. So they're calling it budget cuts. Who am I to argue? Whatever. But just the fact that they have 44 people that they can just let go like that tells you that they have been hoarding talent for quite a while. So, hopefully all these people that have gotten released, they're gonna land somewhere. I mean, these are talented wrestlers. Somebody's gonna pick them up, whether it's Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, MLW, whatever. New Japan, who knows? But I have no doubt we're going to see a majority of these the wrestlers that have been released by WWE show up somewhere at some time. So let's get into news and rumors and results for the week, starting off with Hell in a Cell from last week. On the pre-show match, Natalya defeated Mandy Rose, and this is just kind of extending the rivalry between Natty and Tamina against Mandy and Dana Brooke. Pretty sure Mandy and Dana are going to get those women's tag titles at some point. Although, with WWE keeps releasing people, they're not going to have too many people, especially on the women's side, left to contend for those championships. Bianca Belair did retain her championship versus Bayley in a Hell in a Cell match, which was a damn good match. That's another one I definitely recommend going back to check out. Seth Rollins surprisingly got a victory over Cesaro. I really expected Cesaro to win this match, but Seth did manage to pull out the surprise victory in that one. Alexa Bliss got the victory over Shayna Baszler in what I'd call an interesting match, if nothing else. Sami Zayn, another kind of a surprise, got a win over Kevin Owens. I know I had picked Owens to win in that one, and then Owens basically said he was taking some time away, but then I guess he's going to be back on SmackDown next week in a Money in the Bank qualifier. Who knows? But, Sami Zayn did get the win over Kevin Owens. Charlotte defeated Rhea Ripley, but it was by disqualification, so Rhea did retain her championship, which led to a rematch being signed between Rhea and Charlotte for Money in the Bank. And then the main event, Lashley retained the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre, so McIntyre now cannot challenge for the WWE Championship as long as Lashley is champion. So I'm curious to see where they're going to go with Drew McIntyre from here. Let's get into some Raw and SmackDown stuff here. Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed both made appearances on WWE Main Event this week. Karrion Kross got a win over Shelton Benjamin, and Bronson Reed got a win over Drew Gulak. Now, of course, these are the two top champions in NXT, so obviously they're being given a look to potentially move to the main roster. So if you see Cross dropping the NXT title or Reed dropping the North American title anytime soon, I think it's a safe bet that they'll be on Raw or SmackDown sooner rather than later. A lot of people were complaining because Cross didn't get his normal kind of theatrical entrance that he does in NXT. Scarlett did not come to the ring with him, but you know what? This is basically like a tryout match. I mean, you know, he came out with the NXT Championship. He was not acknowledged as the NXT Champion, you know, but he didn't get the whole big entrance with the lights and the smoke and Scarlett and all that stuff. But I wouldn't have expected. It's on Main Event. Let's be honest. How many people watch Main Event? You know, it's only on Hulu. I personally don't have Hulu, so I don't see Main Event. I just, you know, caught the highlights, what was online. So him not getting his full entrance, to me, is not that big of a deal. He picked up a victory over Shelton Benjamin on a main roster show. That's kind of the point here. Same thing with Bronson Reed. He got a victory over Drew Gulak, who's no slouch in the ring either. So, you know, keep an eye on Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed. We may be seeing them on Raw or SmackDown pretty soon. On the Raw side, we had some qualifying matches for the men's and women's Money in the Bank. Ricochet defeated AJ Styles to qualify. Asuka and Naomi got a tag team victory over Eva and Doudrop. I hate even saying that name. It's Piper Niven. But, so yeah, Asuka and Naomi both qualified. John Morrison got a victory over Randy Orton to qualify. Nikki Cross in her new superhero type gimmick, teaming with Alexa Bliss, which just seemed odd in and of itself, you know, aside from the new gimmick for Nikki Cross, her and Alexa teaming with the history that they've got. But anyway, they got a win over Shayna and Nia to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank. Matt Riddle defeated Drew McIntyre to qualify. A little bit of an upset victory there. Big E defeated Apollo Crews. Now, this was not for the Intercontinental title. It was a qualifying match for the Money in the Bank. I think I might have said King of the Ring earlier. It doesn't matter. It's Money in the Bank. Carmella was automatically put into the match by Sonya Deville because Carmella won the first two women's Money in the Banks. And then Liv Morgan got a victory over Carmella to qualify herself for the Money in the Bank. So, and I'm sure we'll have some more qualifying matches coming up this week. Like I said, we found out that Rhea and Charlotte are going to have a rematch at Money in the Bank. Kofi Kingston has challenged Bobby Lashley for a title match at Money in the Bank, and Lashley accepted. And Lashley then proceeded to decimate Xavier Woods in a Hell in the Cell match on Monday Night Raw. And, you know, just basically holding Woods in the Hurt Lock at the end of the match, making Kofi watch from the outside, obviously unable to get into the ring. And you know... I got to make mention of this. Vince Russo was saying how stupid this looked because, well, why wasn't Kofi trying to climb in? Why wasn't he trying to get in? It's Hell in a Cell, dumbass. There's a top on the cage. Jesus, God. Russo just needs to stop talking about wrestling. He really does, because every time he opens his mouth, he makes himself look like a bigger moron, which I always think is impossible, and then he always proves me wrong. But anyway, moving on to NXT, we've finally seen the debut of the Diamond Mine, which we've been seeing vignettes for several weeks. And the Diamond Mine consists of Roderick Strong coming back after he apparently had quit NXT after the breakup of Undisputed Era. But it is Roderick Strong, Tyler Rust, Hideki Suzuki, and Malcolm Bivens as their managers. So pretty interesting little faction there. And they made their debut after the main event match, which was Kyle O'Reilly versus Kushida. Another amazing freaking match between these two guys. Definitely go back and check that out. And just another quick note from NXT, we've been seeing these other vignettes of a charging battery, and I think the last one showed it was up to 51%, and probably leading, I would think, to the Great American Bash, which is this coming week on NXT, to some type of debut or return of somebody who's injured. One speculation was possibly Tegan Knox coming back from her injury. So we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, we'll have to see what this whole battery thing is all about. Then on SmackDown, like I said, we saw the return of Edge attacking Roman Reigns and demanding his Universal Championship match, which he was granted at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and that did not set too well with Seth Rollins, as we saw on Talking Smack. You know, basically having a fit there at the table with Pat McAfee, but. Yeah, so that's I'm pretty sure leading to a rivalry with Rollins and Edge. Look for Rollins to get involved in some way or another in that Universal Championship match at Money in the Bank. Moving on to some AEW news, we already talked about the promo in the ring between Conan and Tully Blanchard. Just a fantastic angle that they shot with these two guys. And then we saw a brawl between the Inner Circle and Pinnacle, and we found out Sammy Guevara and MJF are going to be having a match this coming week on Dynamite, which that is definitely an early contender for match of the week, I got to tell you. Ethan Page, after his victory, put down a challenge to Darby Allin for a coffin match. So, yeah, and I don't see Darby turning that one down, and that's going to be for July the 7th. So that should be a very interesting match. Then we saw TH2 and the Blade take out Orange Cassidy at one point during the show, and then at the end of the show, Kenny Omega retained versus Jungle Boy. As I said, looked like after the match, Kenny Omega was going to attack Jungle Boy with the championship. Christian Cage came out and made the save. Then we saw an appearance from Matt Hardy, and Private Party went in, put a beat down on Christian, and then save was made from there. Or actually, we saw the Young Bucks come out too. Then we saw the save was made by Eddie Kingston and Pentagon, and to end the show. But yeah, Omega and Jungle Boy, definitely check that match out. It was just a match of the week. What can I tell you? It was a damn good match. Some Impact news. Apparently, Tommy Dreamer now is a consultant / advisor to Scott D'Amore since Don Callis no longer an EVP with Impact, both in storyline and in reality. Don Callis no longer an Impact executive. And we're seeing even more kind of dissension between Rachel Ellering and Jordynne Grace. They had kind of a face-to-face in-ring promo. Rachel more or less sounded like she was, trying to apologize to Jordynne. Jordynne just not, kind of getting in Rachel's face every time she mentioned Tenille's name, because Rachel kept saying, well, Tenille's getting in Jordynne's head and things like that. And Jazz came out to kind of play peacemaker between the two of them. Jordynne said she needs time to think, ended up leaving the ring. And then, of course, Tenille came down with Caleb with a K, and, still trying to persuade Rachel over to her side, which Rachel Ellering, flat out told her no several times, and then put a little bit of a beating on her. So that was a pretty interesting spot. But I'd say this is long from over. And I've been saying I think Jordynne's going to be the one to turn heel. I'm not so sure now after seeing this in-ring promo between her and Rachel. I mean, somebody's going to turn heel. It's going to happen. I was pushing for it to be Jordynne Grace. I think I'd really love to see Jordynne Grace as a heel, but now I'm not 100% sure. Just kind of the way that Rachel Ellering was talking. Not really being like flippant or condescending or anything, but just, I don't know. It's just the feeling that I got. Maybe Rachel's the one turning heel, but somebody's turning heel here. Some MLW news. Their draft continued this week. They picked up EJ the Judge Nduka, I believe is how you say his last name, Nduka, formerly known as Ezra Judge in the WWE. He was part of the releases on May 19th. So he has signed with MLW, and he will make his debut at their Battle Riot event. And I mean, this is a guy I'm kind of surprised WWE let go. I mean, he's 6'8", 290 pounds, huge guy, right up, definitely a WWE look to this guy. But MLW's picked him up, so we'll see what he can do in the Battle Riot coming up in July. Some ROH news. The Survival of the Fittest final has been set. It will be Flamita versus Brian Johnson versus Eli Issam versus Chris Dickinson versus Bandito versus Rhett Titus. And the winner of this will get a World Championship match. New Japan, we have new junior heavyweight tag team champions. Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo picked up the win and the championships against Roppongi 3K. And in the NWA, Mickie James has announced she will be wrestling at the NWA 73rd anniversary event coming up on August the 29th. So now this doesn't necessarily mean she's under contract to the NWA as a wrestler, but she will be wrestling at that event. She has said she will not be wrestling at the all-women's pay-per-view that she is producing because she just, she's not going to book herself in a match. She's producing the event, so and that's that. But she will be wrestling at the NWA 73rd anniversary show. And a little bit of miscellaneous news. Rumors going around that, which this rumor's always going around, Brock Lesnar is in talks to return to the WWE. And with all these releases happening lately, a lot of people are speculating, well, that's why the releases are happening, so they can pay Brock's ridiculous salary that they always pay him for his handful of appearances. But Yeah, that is the rumor that Brock Lesnar will be returning, most likely for SummerSlam. I'll get into that a little bit more here in a couple of minutes. And that information is per Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp over there. But the releases that happened just this week from WWE, they released the Bollywood Boys, Marina Shafir, who's the wife of Roderick Strong, Arturo Huas, Kurt Stallion, Killian Dane, who's the husband of Nikki Cross, and again, kind of a surprise there, Tyler Breeze, big surprise. I mean, he's been in NXT forever. August Gray, Fandango, another one that's been around for a long time, Arya Daivari, Tony Nese, Tino Sabatelli, and Everrise. So 205 Live has pretty much been decimated. I'm wondering if 205 Live is just going to be canceled. You know, because, I mean, Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, August Gray, and Everrise, and Kurt Stallion, too, and the Bollywood Boys. That's your 205 Live roster for the most part. So I'm seriously questioning the future of 205 Live unless they're just going to use some of the newer talent that they've recently signed. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. So that's going to do it for news and rumors and results and all that kind of stuff for the week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he's here with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey to wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with this week's Saki Indie Cut. We begin with Friday, June 18th, and Unsanctioned Pro 12. If you know, you know, from Columbus, Ohio. I talked to this because of the Unsanctioned Pro Heavyweight title. Champion Ever Cross defeated Aaron Williams. In an Unsanctioned Pro title number one contendership match, Cole Radrick defeated Lord Crew. So it's nice to see Cole in the contendership match. For the Midwest Territory.com title, Freddie Hudson defeated champion Yoya to become the champion. Jordan Oliver defeated Luxus Montez. For the interim hardcore title, champion Casanova Valentine defeated Bobby Beverly. And then shortly thereafter, Lord Crew defeated champion Casanova Valentine to become new champion. Horror Slam Day of the Undead from Taylor, Michigan. For the Horror Slam Heavyweight title, Trey Miguel defeated champion Tommy Vendetta to become new champion. So he has another independent title. Let's go, Trey. Down to Coastal Championship Wrestling in Wynwood Fight District from Miami, Florida. Facade defeated Will Austin. And a two-way match, Danny Mole defeated Kelsey Heather and Layla Gray. For the IOCW title, Ariel Levi defeated champion Ryo to become the champion. In a non-title match, Davey Richard made his return, defeating Jackal Stevens. And then for their Coastal Heavyweight title, champion El Jefe Santos defeated Max Stardom. On to Saturday, June 19th, and Stardom. Of course, this is a great show. We had Rena defeating Lady C. So much for Lady C trying to get a victory. Momo Watanabe defeated Hina. Julia, Maika, and Suri defeated Fukigen Death, Konami, and Saki Kashima. Then we had Mina Shirakawa, Tamakano, and Unagi Sayaka taking on Azumi, Saya Kamatani, and Tami Hayashita to a 15-minute draw. That was a really good match, of course. And in the main event, it was Natsuka Tora, Miraku, and I'll call her Darklight Kid, defeating Hanan, Koguma, and Mayu Iwatani. Really interesting to see Starlight Kid in a dark mask and actually taking on Mayu. So we'll see how long that lasts in Stardom. Down to All-Star Wrestling Australia, A Night to Remember 2, from New South Wales, Australia. We had Robbie Eagles defeated Johnny Starr, and for the ASWA Heavyweight title, Keegan Brettle defeated champion Kingston Eclipse to become new champion. Up to Progress, Chapter 113, Warp into Monster Disco Hell from London, England. We have Alexis Falcon defeating Giselle Shaw. Man Like the Reese defeated TK Cooper, and Dean Allmark defeated Chuck Mambo. For the Progress World title, champion Cara Noir defeated Elijah, and for the Progress Women's title, champion Kanji defeated Mercedes Blaze. Pretty good show, I'm sure. I haven't checked out all of it. Back here in the States, Wrestling for a Cause, the fight for Aaron. For their Prime title, champion Tommy Dean defeated Derek James. I see Tommy still winning. Down to Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, Shindig 21 from Monroe, Georgia. For their tag titles, Sal Renaro and Sunny Days defeated champions Ben Buchanan and Bo Buchanan to become the champions. And for their heavyweight title, Michael Judas defeated champion Griff Garrison to become the champion. Damn, I'm sorry, Griff. I was hoping you were going to hold on to that title till you got the Warrior. Maybe you had it with you. Over to Hurricane Pro Wrestling. Hurricane Pro returned to Beaumont in Beaumont, Texas. For the Hurricane Pro Cruiserweight title, champion Miranda Elise defeated Lucas Riley. And in a tag match, Shay Chanel and Heather Monroe defeated Renee Michelle and Vipers. Then to Game Changer Wrestling, an Outlaw Mud Show from Laramie, Wyoming, on Fight TV. I don't know if you want to be in Wyoming and try and stream this. They had a little problems early on. So Jordan Oliver defeated Gringo Loco. Loco came to the ring bringing in a goat, which was kind of, they were in a barn, so it was you know, it worked. But I didn't see that in the match because, well, the stream went out. Chris Dickinson defeated Too Cold Scorpio. That was a really good match. Jimmy Lloyd, who came in on a donkey, defeated Allie Ketch. In a bull rope match, the one called Manners defeated his friend Matthew Justice. That was really good. A little bloody, but really good. Effie defeated Warhorse. Nice match between those two. AJ Gray defeated Orin Veet. That was a little too bloody. Then we had Ricky Morton, who wrestled in his 50th state. So this is pretty much why they went there. And he defeated Atticus Kogar in under 5 minutes, but a roll-up pin. You can't, you know. At the end of the match, Atticus tried to spike Ricky, or picks or whatever, and Janela made the save, challenging Kogar to a street fight, I believe, at their homecoming coming up in July. So that will happen. And then for the GCW World title, in a bunkhouse brawl match, and a bloody, awesome, insanely weird match, champion Nick Gage defeated Lance Warner. Those two went all over the place and just tore the house down. But luckily the house stayed up because it was a barn. Then to Freelance Underground, back to Church Street, Park Brew from Itasca, Illinois. Hope everyone is safe there. With Val Capone and Sterling Richards on commentary, so this was a nice treat for me. We had Storm Grayson defeating J.J. Garrett. Dan the Dad defeated Darius Luttrell and Trevor Outlaw. Darius is from Warrior, and he's the tall guy who was security last time and carried out the clown. Kayla Cassidy defeated Blair Onyx. I consider it a minor upset there. And in a surprise match, we had Kylie Ray returning and defeated one of her students, Angel Escalera. At the end of the match, she was going to speak, but Project Monix came out to challenge Kylie. In October 23rd, he wants to go out on his own terms. As you remember, he had to pretty much retire for health reasons. So he has one more match in him. Hopefully, his doctors are not happy with that, but he is going to put on a show against Kylie Ray. I can't wait for that one. Coda Hernandez defeated Acid Jazz. For the Freelance Underground Independent title, champion Laney Luck defeated Billy Starks. That was a really good match there. Then in a three-way tag match, August Matthews and Davey Bang defeated the brothers of Funstruction, Ruffo the Clown and Yabo the Clown, who Val did not like. And they also defeated Cole Radrick and Sage Phillips. This is a really cool, interesting match for all 6 of these guys. At the end of the match, F the Clown came out and wanted to team up with the Brothers of Funstruction, but they picked on him. They squirted him with water with the flour, and it was fun. So I like these Brothers of Funstruction now because they picked on that clown. Yeah, I'm not saying his name. If I said it too much already, he might come down the stairs. Then for the FU heavyweight title, champion GPA defeated Calvin Tankman. Awesome show for Freelance. Nice to see them back. They're returning there, obviously in October, but they plan on doing more shows coming up, so stay tuned. Back down to Coastal Championship Wrestling, Summer Glory 2021 from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In a ladies title match, champion Marina Tucker defeated Danny Moe. In the heavyweight title, champion El Jefe Santos defeated Davey Richards. So Davey got a championship match right away. Of course, he lost. And then Brian Cage defeated Facade. That had to be very interesting. Brian must be getting ready for his Ninja Mac, right? Ninja. Boy, the Ninja guy coming up at Warrior Wrestling on the 17th. So against Facade, yeah, so that's a practice match. Up to Black Wrestlers Matter, number 2 from Des Moines, Iowa. Jocelyn Navarro defeated Willow Nightingale, and for the vacant Black Wrestlers Matter, Jossie defeated JDX to become champion. Still down over to Future Stars of Wrestling Anniversary 2021, Night 2. For the No Limits title, champion Ice Williams defeated Danny Limelight. A really good match there. For their tag titles, Cutthroat Cody and Jacob Austin Young, who were champions, defeated Fresco and Watson. That one was okay. Matt Vandergrift defeated TJP. That was an awesome match between those two. And then in the main event for the heavyweight title in a 3-way match, champion Hammerstone defeated EC3 and Juicy Finale. Of course, Hammerstone picked Juicy. Nice match, nice show. Glad to see them back in action. And then CMLL put on a show on YouTube. So it was El Cotaro, Forestoro, and Sanson defeating Mystico, Galador Jr., and Christico. That was a fun match. Go check that out if you can. Finally, on to June 20th, and Stardom, final show of the week. We had Konami defeat Uraka. Tam Nakano defeated Fukigen Death kind of quickly, so I was a little surprised with that. Momo Watanabe and Saya Kamatani defeated Mina Surikawa and Unagi Sayaka. Mina and Unagi were not getting along at the end of the match, so if there's a split up, that's a little weird, since they're 6-woman champions. Then we had Koguma and Mayu Iwatani defeated Azumi and Utami Hayashita. That's pretty interesting there. I believe it was Mayu pinning Utami, so she might get a championship match out of that. And then the main event was Natsuko Tora, Saki Kashima, and Darklight Kid defeating Maika, Siri, and Lady C, who filled in for Donna DeMondo. And of course, she got the pin. She lost. She took the pin. What else is new? Noah kept on putting on their YouTube shows from the dojo, so check that out if you wish. Pro Wrestling Diana put on a show on YouTube. No need to get into those. DDT King of DDT 2021 second round. No matches there, but we had DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal title delayed entry battle royal, and Yukio Sakaguchi won that. So then, of course, later on, Yukio Sakaguchi. They say they won that, but really, Shinya Oki had the championship because he lost it later on to Kazuki Harada. And then I guess the battle royal took place after that. So I believe Yukio Sakaguchi is your champion for DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal Championship. Of course, my favorite championship, and I did not study up on that. Sorry. Then later on, they had second round matches. Enough of that. Back here in the States, we had Beyond Wrestling and Women's Wrestling Revolution joint show to wrestle, shoot straight, and speak the truth. Megan Bain defeated Riley Shepard. You might have seen Megan on AEW Dark. Kenny Copeland defeated Alicia Edwards by DQ. Or Alicia just didn't give a care and she started hitting her with a kendo stick and chair, and it's weird. Ashley Vox and Dami Exo defeated Armani Kayas and Paris Van Dale. Willow Nightingale defeated Masa Slamovich. Really good match there. And Trish Adora defeated Divine. And then, of course, Mega Man at the end of that came out to challenge Trish Adora, who was champion. I forgot where she champion at, but yeah. So they'll have a match soon. New Texas Pro Wrestling, Texas Pro True Colors 2. For the women's title, champion Roxy defeated Danny B and Rochelle Rose. And for the New Texas Pro title, champion Mysterious Q defeated Great Scott and Jake Something. Sorry, Jake. IWA Mid-South, Who's Your Daddy from Indianapolis, Indiana. In the women's title, champion Jessie Belle Smothers defeated Jody Threat, Lilith Grimm, and Thunder Kitty. And in an Extreme Rules match, Jake Chris defeated Super Crazy, of all people. Monday, Tuesday, June 22nd. Wave, Catch the Wave had block matches, so I'm going to get into that. Tokyo Pro, that's JP21. That's the English match. So we had Yuki Kamafuku defeated Moko Miyamoto. New Japan Day 6 took place, where they had the never openweight 6-man titles on the line. So Goto, Ishii, and Yoshihashi retain. CML put on a Martyrs to Glamour show, where Viano III, Santiago, and Felino Jr. with Mephisto defeated Argus, Atlantis Jr., Christico, and Joker. And then they also had another show where Blue Panther Jr., Dark Panther, and Felino defeated Barbario Cavernario, Gran Guerrero, and Ultimo Guerrero 2 falls to 1. So at least is back in action more. To Wednesday, June 23rd, New Japan Kanzuna Road, Day 7. This is where the IWGP Junior Heavyweight titles change place. So Phantasm and Ishimori are unique title holders there. Gadamu Chaka Pro 127. They have their own one-of-a-kind tag league, so I'm not going to get into that. Back here in the States, we heard Paradigm Pro Wrestling, UWFI Rules Super Middleweight Grand Prix, Round 1, from Jeffersonville, Indiana. Cole Radrick defeated Victor Analog. Robert Martyr defeated Donnie Janela. Alexis Montez defeated Russ Myers. And Brandon Williams defeated Travis Huckabee, just to name a few. To Thursday, June 24th, Tokyo Pro, that's JPW 22. Nutaka Tenma and Shoko Nakajima defeated Rika Tatsumi and Suzumi. Really fun match there. To Ohio Valley Wrestling, TV 1141. For the Southern Tag title, Brandon Tate and Brent Tate defeated Adam Swazi and Rex. And number one contendership for the women, Danny Moe defeated Ari Alexander and Dream Girl Ellie. So Danny keeps on winning and losing, but still nice to have her back in matches. IWA Mid-South, Tag Your It, from Jeffersonville, Indiana. For their tag titles, Dale Patrick and Kevin Giza defeated champions Corey Storm and Jay Christ to become new champions. And for the world title in a ladder match, Logan James defeated champion Tyler Matrix to become new champion. There was Enjoyed Can Heat Season 2, Episode 2 on YouTube with Veda Scott and that Bokini guy. So we had Eel O'Neill and Jordan Blade defeat Janai Kai and Yoya. In an Enjoy Cup title match, Mr. Grimm defeated champion Lee Moriarty to become new champion. He can't win a match lately. I don't know what's going on. Then there was a Combat Fights Unlimited Shoot the Thrill. This was pretty much an MMA show with wrestlers. So we had first round was Masa Slamovich defeating Notorious Mimi in round 1. Janai Kai defeated Ray Lynn in round 2. Semifinal match was Masa Slamovich defeating Kenny Copeland in round 2. And Janai Kai defeating Jordan Blade in round 3. And then in the finals, it was Janai Kai defeating Masa Slamovich in round 5. It had to be a pretty interesting show. To Friday, June 25th, New Japan Strong, number 46. Fred Yehai and Wheeler Yuta teamed again, defeating Kevin Knight and the DKC. Good match there. Clark Connors defeated Rocky Romero. That, I would have to say, is a major upset with him winning. And for the Strong Openweight title, champion Tom Lawler defeated Carl Fredericks in a really good match where, of course, Tom tried to shake his hand, and then they beat him down. And what else is right there? To Laredo Pro Sizzling Summer Tour, Day 1 from Rome, Georgia. You could have watched this on Ziggy Dice's Twitch channel from far away, so if you want to watch it, go right ahead. For the tag team title, champions Rude Boy and Zero defeated Air Paris and Laser, as well as Francisco Cisco and the Brooklyn Outlaw Donovan. Ziggy Dice defeated the Laredo Man. Doc Gallows defeated Simon Sermon in a street fight. For the KLT title, champion Zach Mosley defeated Levy Valens, who was No Way Jose, who came out to No Way Jose music. So, really, okay. And the main event was Carl Anderson taking on Rick Swan, and that went to a no contest. CMLL had their Torneo Incredible final match, where Templario and Valdor Jr. defeated Caristico and Virus, 2 falls to 1. So check that out if you can, when you can. And then on to Saturday, June 26th, earlier today, Tokyo Pro Stand Proud 2021, where we have Maki Ito and Nodoka Tenma defeat Kaya Toribami and Miyu Miyumi. Rika Tatsumi defeated Rusho Endo and Yuki Kamifuku. And Moko Miyamoto and Shoka Nakajima defeated Miyu Watanabe and Yuki Arai. Yuki's, she's that singer, but she's really doing very well, even though she keeps losing. But she's still putting on great matches. Pam Harajuku, Raku, and Yuki Aino defeated Hiruneko, Hikari Noa, and Suzumi. Since Raku pinned Hikari Noa here, she wins the title match against Hikari. So, teammates going for title again. Mizuki and Yuka Sakazaki with Mariko Kobashi defeated Hyper Misao, Mihiro Kiru, and Nai Kakuta. Really good match there. And then for the Princess title, champion Mayu Yamashita defeated Saki Sama. No theatrics there a lot, so Mayu won convincingly. Nice to see. Then All Japan Pro Wrestling Champions Night from the land of the Triple Crown Unification Fight to the 50th anniversary. A couple of title changes. So we had a 6-man title. Hakuda Omori, Tajiri, and Yusuke Kodama defeated champions Black Mansorio, Carbel Ito, and Takio Omori to become the champions. 8-man tag, Sima, El Lindemann, Ishii Onitsuka, and T-Hawk defeated Zanagi, Sugihiro Iri, Utamaro, and Zeus. In their junior heavyweight title, Akira Francesco defeated Koji Iwamoto. And then for the Triple Crown title, Jake Lee defeated Kento Miyahara and Uma Ayagi to become champion. Nice to see there. Before I go, referee Jeremy from Warrior Wrestling and Freelance and all those other local Chicago indies put out a tweet to Jonathan Hood to join, to come to Warrior Wrestling on July 17th, and I second that motion. Jonathan Hood should attend a Warrior Wrestling show, so get out there, retweet that, find it on their Warrior page or Jeremy's page, retweet it, and see if Jonathan Hood, a radio personality here from Chicago, will show up to Warrior Wrestling. I like to see that. So that's a wrap for me. Till next time, where I recap more indie shows, which there are a lot of this weekend. Not that I'm watching a lot of them because they're all from ICW and any news from around the wrestling world. For anyone in the Chicago area, today is Saturday the 26th, and it is storming like crazy. A lot of tornado warnings. Hope everyone is staying safe, especially you in Chicago Heights. As I just saw, there was a tornado warning around there. Hopefully everyone is alright. Don't forget to check out those Twitch streams and YouTube channels for more wrestling action. You know where to find those Twitch streams. I'm around there sometimes when my internet's working. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep extra safe. Take care and be kind, everyone.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So let's get right into the next segment here, which this week is more of a speculation than kind of playing armchair booker like I normally do. But yeah, it's still the same segment as it always is, and it's the fantasy booker. Alright, so like I said, this is more speculation this time than me playing armchair promoter here. Warrior Wrestling has been putting out some posts, hyping up their Stadium Series show coming up on July the 17th. The full card has pretty much been announced. It is stacked as always. There's only one match that has not been announced yet, and it is going to be coming this week. And it is, the announcement will be who the opponent is for Davey Richards. And they put out a post last night during Dynamite, and I swear they're trying to mess with me. They are. I'm going to be talking to Steve here in a couple of weeks about the show, and I'm going to ask him. I'm like, are you guys trying to kill me with this? Because they put out the match card, basically advertising each match on the card so far. When they get to Davey Richards one, they're saying that it says it's a first time ever matchup. And they're saying, this match is going to be purely, in all caps, P-U-R-E, awesome. Now, everybody knows that the pure style from Ring of Honor is my absolute favorite style of wrestling. Everybody knows that my favorite, just straight-up wrestler in the world is somebody who's been at Warrior Wrestling a few times. To my knowledge, has not wrestled Davey Richards. I could be wrong. I could be way off on this, but if the match has happened before, I haven't seen it or anything like that. But I my guess, my hope, my prayer, my dream, Davey Richards versus Jonathan Gresham. That would instantly, just that match being booked, it's match of the week for that week. Sorry for the spoiler, but that's it. If that is the match, that is the match of the week, guaranteed. And it would just be... It would be a classic. I mean, that would be a match to show generations of wrestlers to come, like, this is how you wrestle with those two guys in there. But, with the hint being dropped last night saying it will be purely awesome, I'm guessing it's going to be, announced as a pure match. For the Pure Championship, I don't know. I don't think a Ring of Honor title has ever been defended at a Warrior Wrestling show. But, for it to be a pure wrestling match, who's better to put in a match like that than the pure champion, Jonathan Gresham? So that's my fantasy booker for this week. That's my speculation, is that, could we see Davey Richards versus Jonathan Gresham coming up at Warrior Wrestling on July the 17th? I would absolutely go through the roof for that one. And the fact that I would, be sitting there on the call for that one, when we do our live broadcast from Warrior on the 17th, for me, that would be a dream come true. That is a dream match for me. So, gotta wait and see. The announcement's coming on July 1st. Like I said, I'm gonna be having Steve Tortorello on the show again coming up here pretty soon to go through the card for July 17th. By that time, we'll know who it is, and yeah, so I can hope. So that's my pick. So let me get into the last segment of the show here, where I kind of talk about some unpopular opinions, but this time it's more about some more rumors that are flying around, and I'm talking about the weekly hot take. All right, some rumors for SummerSlam that have been flying around. These are basically like the four, main event matches, I guess you could say. I already touched on one of them. Edge versus Rollins, is the rumored match coming up for SummerSlam. That's why I say look for Rollins to get involved in that Universal title match at Money in the Bank in some form or fashion to start up that rivalry with Edge going into SummerSlam. Another one is Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the Universal Championship, and this is kind of fueled by John Cena recently saying he's not done in WWE, but not really saying when or where he'd be coming back, just that he will be coming back. So, of course, that's just adding fuel to that fire. So Roman versus John Cena. Another one, talked earlier about Brock Lesnar supposedly in talks with WWE to come back, and the match that's being speculated there is the long-awaited Lesnar versus Lashley for the WWE Championship. And this is a match that a lot of people want to see. It's a match that I want to see if they let these guys go out there and do their thing. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar dominate Bobby Lashley. I don't want to see 5,000 German suplexes, 18 F5s, and a pin inside of 5 minutes by Brock Lesnar. I want to see a straight-up fight between these two guys. They both have MMA backgrounds. They both have amateur wrestling backgrounds. Let these two guys go out there and put on a match, because it would be a hell of a match. I've said for a long time, I have nothing against Brock Lesnar. It's the way he's booked that I have a problem with. I'm tired of him being so one-dimensional when everybody knows what kind of stuff he's capable of. Go back and watch some of his matches from 2002, and you'll see what kind of matches he can put on. Look at the match he had with Finn Balor, at the Royal Rumble a couple of years ago. You'll see what kind of match he can put on, even with a guy that much smaller than him and Finn Balor. And him and Lashley match up so damn well, that would be an insane match. So I'm hoping there's truth to that, and I'm hoping they let them go out there and put on a match. And then the fourth main event level match that's being speculated is Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Now, Becky Lynch, recently has been back at the Performance Center. Supposedly she's been backstage at Raw and SmackDown, but hasn't made any appearances on camera yet. So maybe we see her appear at Money in the Bank. Maybe. Money in the Bank is kind of the event where Becky not lost the championship, but had to give it up when she stepped away to become a mother. So could we see Becky maybe as a surprise entrant in the Money in the Bank match and win that briefcase back that she gave to Asuka, previously, and use that to try to get her championship back. There's a lot of ways that could go, but Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, another one that's being speculated, and another one I would personally love to see. So that is going to wrap things up for this week. We will not have a show next week. We're taking the week off for the 4th of July. Hope everybody enjoys their holiday. Stay safe. Don't blow any fingers off or anything. But, we are going to take the week off, take a little bit of a break for the holiday, but we will be back the following week with our regularly scheduled, whatever you want to call this. But, so like I said, hope everybody has a great week. Have a great holiday next week. Enjoy all the great wrestling coming up, and I will talk to you guys soon.